What's up, my yokai slaying kindred? I am Project, and today I'll be discussing the new Dragon of the North DLC. The first half of this video is covering the patches they released the day before the DLC, while the second half is solely about the DLC's actual content and what you're getting for your $10. So if you're curious as to what it all offers, hopefully this video can cover it as much as it as possible, as it will be a long one. Some things might not be totally accurate, but I'll do the best I can. So let's get started with all the info I gathered from my playthrough so far since the updates earlier this week. Getting the free updates out of the way, since most of you should already have it, patch 1.07 finally brought the much anticipated PvP mode where players can join battles in 1v1 or 2v2. The problem is they forgot to balance it, as on top of cheesy tactics, skill or projectile spamming, and disproportional matchmaking, there are also network problems with lag, and finding matches takes long periods of time sometimes. A few hackers have even made their way onto the PvP action as well, so prepare for one-shots. Disclaimer, however, I do not have a PlayStation Plus subscription to do PvP myself, so all of this info is purely based on what I've seen many complain about in forums and such, as well as lots of watch footage. It's not all gloom, however, as some have given it praise and some have had fun experiences from what I'm told. So it's a mixed response at the moment, leaning towards bad. You may like it, you may hate it, so if you're on the fence of getting a PlayStation Plus subscription just for the PvP, you might want to save your money and wait for some balance changes or something. Well, for those of you with the PlayStation Plus subscription already, winning in PvP gains you glory as well as a new item called Anima Stone, which is used to mainly forge multiplayer specific stats on your weapons. These are noted with a cross sword symbol, and you can buy these from the tea house with the glory you earn from the blood of your victims. That about covers all I know about PvP. I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there covering it, but you probably won't see any PvP videos from me anytime soon. That goes for my builds I'll be dishing out as well. They will be geared to the single player content as per usual. Moving on, patch 1.07 also brought waifu skins. That is, female skins for the female characters in Nioh. 4 have been added: Okatsu, Tome, Ginchio, and my babe, Fuku. These will need to be unlocked via beating certain missions involving them. When patch 1.07 released, they were priced at 90k glory for all but Okatsu, which was priced at 120 for some reason. But they quickly released patch 1.08, the current patch, which reduced their prices to 70k, with Okatsu being 100k. Patch 1.07 added the option to carry 2 spirits with you instead of 1 now, your main one and a secondary one, allowing you to switch between them without resting at a shrine. The secondary spirit, when not in use, has all its passive effects negated except for one of them. To clarify, you still gain this effect despite its red coloring on the number. I've seen people ask that, and I have tested it, and you still gain the effect as long as you meet the normal spirit requirement to use that ability. In addition to that, you also get a new effect, which changes depending on the spirit you have as your main and your secondary. This makes for interesting combinations to play around with. Since people are probably going to ask, Aokomori and High Nezumi are probably the greatest offensive secondary spirits to have, as they give nice damage passives. Keep in mind that you may have to beat Way of the Samurai before you have the ability to use this feature. A neat little trick is that you can actually switch between spirits during living weapon mode by pressing R1 and then L2. This will switch between the spirits normally and also during living weapon mode. With patch 1.07, they added the ability to save equipment setups, which is accessed in the map screen and having the equipment window open. Pressing triangle shows the sets, and you can save the current set, delete a set, or equip a set. And you can store up to 10 sets total, removing the annoyance of having to swap gear around. This is a lovely addition to the game. The update also added a couple new skills to your weapon trees, as well as updated graphics on some of the things like ninjutsu and onmyo section. The new skills on weapon trees are basically extra attack you can sink your leftover points into, 3 separate ones, first being melee, second range, and finally bare fist. Perhaps the biggest deal with patch 1.07, to me anyways, is the addition of a plethora of new effects you can roll on your gear, as well as changing some of the mechanics. Example, you can now run familiarity and another damage stat like close combat damage at the same time. There's also new damage stats depending on the current conditions that you can stack on top of that as well. Overall, this makes build diversity much more interesting, but at the cost of it being harder to roll that stat you want since so many show up now. Apparently change to attacks letter grades can now go up to AA or even AAA on some stuff, but I've yet to confirm that myself. So that's the good stuff. Now we can get on with the bad. Patch 1.07 has lowered all players' levels above 238 level, I believe, due to a change in the amount of Amrita it takes to level up. The cap is no longer 10 million to level up after that point, but is now ever increasing. Many players got de-leveled. Level 750 guys pre-patch now become level 328 post-patch. On top of this, they capped the max level to 400, meaning you won't be able to get 99 in all stats anymore. At most, you can get 99 in 4. A lot of players are upset at this. I'm not personally, but a warning or a tweet or something 2 weeks ahead of the patch would have been nice to prevent people from wasting their time leveling in prep for the DLC. You don't lose what you work for, as you'll be higher level than most, but you certainly have to waste more time to reach the 400 cap now to be at the max. It almost feels like we're Sisyphus to Team Ninja. We play their game, grind, put in hours, pushing that boulder until finally we're at the top of the mountain with the max level and perfect gear, only to be shoved off and not being at the top again, or we have to start grinding all over. In addition to that, in patch 1.08 they made it so all Revenant drop stats are now randomized, at least in Demon mode. They dropped the same type of gear, but all the stats on them will be jumbled up, meaning it's going to be a grind fest getting the perfect weapon and stats, like Inheritable change to attack A+, or max damage, or whatever stat. This also means Inheritable attack from gloves is going to be harder to find, since you can no longer farm Revenants expecting to get that exact Inheritable stat on them like usual. I feel this nerf is unwarranted. It just makes the game more grindy for the sake of being grindy. You can still farm for a specific weapon or armor set, just know that the stats on them might be bad. And to save everyone time, I won't go into full details of patch 1.08 since I'll be here forever and my voice will give out, so I'll link the patch notes they had on Reddit in the description for you to read yourselves. And now we can move on to DLC, the Dragon of the North expansion, Nioh's first of 3 planned paid DLCs coming our way. The DLC was released May 2nd and is priced at $9.99 individually. You can also get it through the Season Pass. Before I get started, I will say that yes, the DLC is worth buying. There's almost no negative to it, almost all positive, with more options, more content, and a chance to become more powerful. It is rather short, but the bosses in Demon mode are worth it, I feel. However, if you thought the original game was repetitive, then you might want to save your money, as it's pretty much more of the same. But here's the info I know on the DLC. There may be more stuff I haven't found out, but this is what I've taken from my playthrough of the DLC. Anything I mention from here onwards can only be played or obtained by buying the DLC. The DLC adds a 7th region, the Tohoku region, with a total of 3 new story missions, 7 sub-missions, and 1 new Twilight stage, so 11 missions total unless there's another Twilight stage that hasn't been rotated yet. There's 4 new armor sets and 3 new Guardian spirits. I will say that no, we do not get the old man spirit Date used in the trailer of this DLC, unfortunately, perhaps next time. But Spirit Guardians can be enhanced to level 40 in the DLC now, with the cost of 45 million Amrita going from level 30 to level 40. Again, you need Way of the Strong unlocked for this feature. In addition to armor sets, we also get some new equipment with new effects in them, stuff like helmets, melee weapons, ranged weapons, etc, etc. We also get a whole new weapon class called Odachi, a big sword which seems like it's a combination of sword, axe, and spear playstyle wise. Odachi is a available starting weapon if you're starting a new game during the DLC, and it's also found in the first stage of the DLC immediately to the right of the starting location. Enemy wise, there are 2 brand new enemies with totally unique looks and attack patterns, as well as 3 reskins of older enemies with a new move or 2. And finally, there's a total of 4 new bosses. You can now forge Nikaba glue from blacksmith using vertebrae attained by defeating one of the new enemies. She will sell divines now and special finds as well, and I've even gotten a Yasakani from her. You can also forge higher level weapons above 160, but they are much more common. The level depends on the highest weapon level you have gotten as a drop. The big macaroni of the new DLC is the addition of a whole new difficulty mode called Way of the Demon, or I'll refer to as Demon mode. This is harder content that challenges even the top builds before, going up to and over level 600 missions by the end of it. Just like Way of the Strong, you have to unlock the regions little by little. There's new types of enemies that are extra tough, practically ripping off Black Phantoms from Dark Souls. These will always drop a divine gear piece. but they also have special effects on them as well, a la Diablo. The bosses are the same, they will have special effects that can make things more difficult. Some bosses also get new mobs to help them defeat you too. To help you, they have raised the level cap of weapons as well as their divine level. The plus number on a divine can now go up to plus 20, while the weapon level can go as high as, or maybe even more, level 210 from what I'm told. They nearly have the same attack as the level 320 weapon, that is over 2.k attack, before they nerfed that long ago. Remember when I mentioned Sisyphus? Yeah. Unlike 320s, however, these higher level weapons can drop from demon mode loot, and forging above 150 is a lot easier. Overall, I'm happy with the DLC. I really hope to do something to freshen the experience in the next one, however, gameplay wise. Perhaps some new super system or a new way to handle content, similar to Monster Hunter adding traversing or adding styles for the weapon classes. Also new music. The DLC had nearly zero music, with all the bosses having older music we've listened to 1,000 times already as their soundtrack. But that about wraps it up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I give the DLC a B- for the price. It's definitely no old hunters like Bloodborne had, but it's pretty solid. The long-awaited Odachi build will soon follow this video in a day or two, so look forward to that. I had it done, but I was waiting on this new mic I'm using to record right now for the commentary, so that's why these videos took so long to get out to you guys. I got the Samsung Go mic off Amazon for 40 bucks. I've seen a bunch of YouTube videos recommend it as a good budget mic. Still not a high tier mic, over $100 or anything, but it's what I can afford. Hopefully it sounds better than the P12 Turtle Beach headset I was using before this video. I'm still working out the kinks audio and software wise, and I still need to get a pop filter, but that's all for later. That's it for me for this video, however. Leave a like if you found this video useful, comment and discuss in the comments your overall opinion of the DLC, or perhaps share new info that I missed, and subscribe for more Nioh epicness.